Do you think you're living your best life? You might be, but you're probably not. You're probably living your neighbor's best life. You think their new car or their how they raise their kids, or you're scrolling through social media and you think that's what your life should look like. The issue is that's not what your life should look like. You haven't figured out what your life should look like. Everyone's best life looks different. Take it from me, like I've been there. I've totally been there. If you would know my story, I have been down in the dumps from graduating from college with $160,000 in student loans to then finding out that I have a tumor on my liver and have to have half my organ cut out, to then having a baby, getting divorced, and trying to figure out that, wow, what I'm going through doesn't look like anything that I see my friends going through, my neighbors, what I scroll through on social media. And I was really striving for what I saw, what was always around me, my neighbors, my social media, everyone I followed. And I realized like, that's not my best life. I just hadn't figured it out yet. And I really needed to design a life that was important to me, that I valued, and that I could really wake up every morning and say that I'm happy about. It wasn't easy. I needed so much clarity. And I really had to say, what is important to me? What do I want? What does my life look like? Is the new car in the driveway, new house, or, perfect family photos what I want? Is that what it looks like? Or is that kind of a shell for what I want? I had to go deeper, and I really had to get some clarity. I took a lot of time, I sorted it out, and I stopped being a victim of being like, oh my God, I'm having all these bad things happen to me, and saying that I'm gonna control the controllables. I can control my life, and I can control my destiny and how happy I am in my life. And I can start living my best life today. And I really had to start, like I said, with that clarity. What do I want? What does it look like? And how am I going to look back one day and say, I lived the best life? I did everything I wanted to do, how I wanted to do it. Once I had clarity on what it looked like, I then had to come up with a plan. And the plan wasn't easy either. There were a lot of obstacles in front of me. I'd be lying to you right now. And anyone who's gone from the bottom to living their best life would be lying to you if they said it was easy. No one told me at 24, 25 years old that I was gonna have half an organ cut out and that I had potentially a major, major health issue to face. You at 24, 25, you're still invincible. You still have your whole life in front of you. You're not meant to deal with major things like that. I had to deal with it. And I had to figure it out, and that was one of my roadblocks. But I had clarity, I had a vision, I knew what I wanted, and I wasn't gonna let things stop me. And then I needed to persevere through it. It is not easy. And you have to keep that attitude and have gratitude for everything that you do have. And I think that was probably one of my biggest lessons, is that someone taught me on how to continually have gratitude, even when you feel like you are down in the dumps and there is no way to get out of where you're at. And even though you have this awesome vision that there's no way you can make that vision a reality because things just keep happening, you have to dig deep and not only have perseverance, but you have to have gratitude. There are good things in your life and you have to be thankful for it. And when I started practicing gratitude, that literally changed my world. I dug deep every night when I went to bed and said, what do I have to be thankful for? What is going good in my world? And there was always something. Even when it felt like everything was doom and gloom and I had this terrible black cloud over my head for 5 or 6 years, there was positive in that. It was a journey that made me who I am today and helped me get to living my best life. I got real, I got clarity, I got a plan, I persevered, and I was thankful for it. All of those things made me who I am today. Like everything, we want it to be like yesterday to start living our best life. I mean, let's be real. We think about like weight loss. Okay, I want to lose weight. Well, you want to like lose those 20 pounds like tomorrow, even though it might take 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. None of us have patience. I guarantee the people that you talk to that are living their best lives, one of the things that they have persevered through was having patience and understanding that I can persevere through this. And it's not just, hey, one and done and you get there and you're happy. It's like anything else in life, anything worth having is worth working for. Friendships, marriage, think about all of those things. You're constantly filling the tank to make those relationships work, to make those things work. Same with your job and your career. Let's face it, if you want to move up in the world and you want to have a good career and you love what you do, you're constantly depositing into that bank of effort and perseverance, and you're persevering through all the challenges that come. You got to understand, what do you want? What do you want? Not what does your neighbor want, not what your neighbor has or your friends have, or your next Instagram or Facebook post. What do you want? What does that look like to you? Sometimes you think what you're seeing is the life that you should be living. And it's really easy. And I always equate this to listen, you go to the bookstore and you find books and there's an amazing cover to the book. And then you open it up and you're like, oh my God, I had no idea that that's what was in the book. The cover can look really pretty and the inside be a hot mess. And I always say, the pictures you scroll through on Facebook and Instagram and all your social media, when you start to get to know people and understand, you hear that quote, you never know, look past the smile because you never know what someone's really battling. You really don't. The more I became vulnerable and told people about my challenges, the more I understood that all those people that I envied, that I looked at their photos, that I looked at their new cars, new houses, and jobs that seemed to be going so good, and marriages that seemed to be going so great, and they had no health issues and all this stuff, I realized it was just a great cover on the book. And when I started to divulge and be vulnerable about what I had been going through, what I had gone through, and they open up to what they are going through, and that, wow, the book cover is really nice, but I wouldn't trade to have their world in a million years. So I challenge you. I really challenge you to dig deep and say, what does your life look like? Beyond the material things, we all want a house and cars and things, but what does it look like? How are you spending your time? Who are you spending it with? I mean, my time with my son became more and more important. My time and day with the people I share my day with and the work I do on a daily basis became more and more important. I didn't have and don't want time for people that don't fit in with what I value. And I really want to make sure that when I'm choosing to spend time, that it goes to everything that I value. I have clarity on what I want, what my life to look like, and I have a plan, and it's ongoing plan, nothing set in stone. So you have to be ready to navigate the detours that are along the way. There's gonna be detours, that's just life. And there's some outside factors that, have nothing to do with us, but they're gonna impact our life. And the more you have clarity and you feel really good about your situation, the less some of those detours really impact your day-to-day. Even as of recent, lots of things, I'll give it this last year of craziness with, having to do e-learning and being home. And I think if it happened to me several years ago, it would have thrown me for a loop and it would have been totally stressed. But being able to roll with the punches and still having a clear plan and having clarity and being able to persevere through those things and being grateful, to be honest, you just don't let it bother you as much. And who wants the anxiety? Who wants the stress? I mean, that alone is going to cause some health issues. It's when you know what you want and you can put it down, you can start looking at things in a much, much better way. And you can start saying, is it going to matter 5 years from now? Should I, waste my energy on being all upset about this? Is this something I can control or I can't control? I'm really big on control the controllables. And you know what? You can control your vision. You can control having a good life if you choose and if you're willing to put in the hard work. Not everyone's willing to do it, but you better not be wanting to complain about it if you're not willing to do the work. I mean, that would be like going on a diet, complaining you're fat, yet you're not willing to do the hard work and eat healthy and exercise. I have gone through the ringer and back and have more stories to tell you about all the challenges I've been through. And somehow I'm standing here today and I am really living my best life. I love to get up every morning. I'm happy with the life that I've chosen and how I have it. And I could really lay my head down tomorrow and know that I'm living my life the way I wanted. I'm going to be remembered by my family, my friends, my peers, my son, the way I wanted. You can too.